The tremors came without warning. Seismic needles danced wildly. A cacophony of static erupted from research labs across the globe. Something echoed in the depths of the Atlantic. Something vast, something impossible. The epicenter, the mid-Atlantic ridge. A jagged scar across the ocean floor, known for its volcanic activity. But this was different. This was a hollow echo, a void where there should be none. The scientific community buzzed with speculation. What lay hidden beneath miles of water and solid rock? A natural phenomenon, a long-forgotten relic? The whispers began, hushed at first, then growing louder. Whispers of the unthinkable. Theories abounded, each more outlandish than the last. Lost city of Atlantis, alien outpost, a subterranean world teeming with unknown life. The world held its breath, waiting, wondering. Professor Evelyn Wright, renowned marine geologist, felt a familiar thrill course through her veins. This was her life's work, the culmination of years spent deciphering the Earth's secrets. But nothing could have prepared her for this. The structure was immense, dwarfing anything ever discovered. Its smooth metallic surface reflected the sonar waves with uncanny precision. It was as if it had been crafted, not formed by nature. This was no geological anomaly. This was something else entirely. A specially equipped research vessel, the RRS Challenger, was dispatched to the site. Professor Wright, handpicked to lead the expedition, stood on the bridge, her gaze fixed on the churning ocean. The descent was perilous. Hours crawled by. The pressure built, a tangible weight pressing down on the submersible. The inky blackness outside the portholes was broken only by the ghostly glow of bioluminescent creatures. They were descending into the unknown. Section 5. A glimpse of the Titans. Finally, the sonar pinged. The submersible had been descending for hours, the pressure outside increasing with every meter. The crew inside was tense, their eyes glued to the sonar screen, waiting for any sign of the unknown. The dome. It loomed before them, an impenetrable shadow in the abyss. The structure was massive, far larger than anything they had anticipated. It seemed to pulse with an eerie energy, as if it were alive. Floodlights flickered to life, revealing a sight that sent shivers down their spines. The beams of light cut through the murky water, slowly unveiling the dome's surface. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. The dome's surface was not smooth. It was covered in intricate patterns and textures, each one telling a story of its own. The closer they looked, the more details they could see. It was etched with colossal figures. These statues were enormous, towering over the submersible. They seemed to be guardians of the dome, watching over it with an eternal vigilance. These were not the crude etchings of primitive man. The carvings were detailed and precise, each line and curve meticulously crafted. They spoke of a civilization with advanced knowledge and skills. These were the works of master sculptors, imbued with a sense of power and antiquity that defied comprehension. Who were these beings? The figures depicted were unlike any known to history, their features both familiar and alien. And what was their connection to this place? The questions swirled in their minds as they continued to explore the dome, each new discovery adding to the mystery. The deeper they went, the more they realized how little they truly knew about the ocean's depths and the secrets it held. Section 6. Silence and Shadows. The submersible docked with a barely perceptible shudder. Professor Wright, her heart pounding, led her team through a series of airlocks and into the dome's interior. Silence greeted them. Heavy, oppressive silence. The air was stale, heavy with the dust of eons. The dome's interior was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, all eerily deserted. The only light came from strange bioluminescent plants that clung to the walls, casting flickering shadows that danced and writhed. Section 7. The Language of the Ancients. The symbols that lined the walls were unlike anything Professor Wright had ever encountered. Each symbol seemed to pulse with a faint, otherworldly glow, as if imbued with a life of its own. The walls were covered in these enigmatic markings, stretching from floor to ceiling, creating an overwhelming sense of mystery and intrigue. They were intricate, geometric patterns, imbued with a sense of alien intelligence. The complexity of the design suggested a highly advanced civilization, one that communicated through these elaborate symbols. Each pattern seemed to tell a story, a fragment of a larger narrative that had been lost to time. They were more than just markings, they were a language that held the key to understanding the culture and knowledge of an ancient race. Professor Wright believed that deciphering these symbols could unlock secrets that had been buried for millennia. Days turned into weeks as Professor Wright and her team painstakingly documented the symbols, searching for a key to unlock their secrets. They photographed every inch of the walls, took detailed notes, and created sketches of the symbols. The process was slow and meticulous, but they knew that every detail could be crucial. The silence was broken only by the hum of their equipment and the frantic scribbling of pencils on paper. The team worked tirelessly, often late into the night, driven by the hope that they were on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery. The air was thick with anticipation as each new symbol brought them one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of the ancients. Section 8. Whispers from the Abyss. Then a breakthrough. One of the researchers, a young linguist named Dr. Singh, made a connection. The symbols shared a common root with ancient Sumerian cuneiform. With trembling hands, he began to translate. The whispers from the abyss began to tell their tale, a tale of a civilization so ancient, so advanced, that it made humanity's achievements seem like the crude scratchings of a child. Section 9. A legacy unveiled. The dome, the inscription revealed, was a repository of knowledge. It stood as a silent guardian of secrets long forgotten, a bridge between the past and the future. The walls, adorned with intricate carvings and symbols, whispered tales of civilizations that once thrived. Each holographic projection brought to life the wisdom of the ancients, casting a glow that illuminated the dark corners of the chamber. A library of the ancients. This was no ordinary collection of books and scrolls. It was a treasure trove of knowledge, meticulously preserved through the ages. The artifacts, each with its own story, were arranged in a manner that spoke of reverence and respect. The holograms, flickering with life, depicted scenes from a time when the world was young and full of promise, a testament to a time when humanity was but a flicker in the cosmic darkness. The ancients had looked up at the same stars, pondering their place in the universe. They had built monuments and structures that aligned with celestial bodies, seeking to understand the mysteries of the cosmos. Their legacy was a reminder of our humble beginnings and the vast potential that lay ahead. A time when gods walked the earth. These deities, revered and feared, were believed to possess powers beyond human comprehension. The statues and carvings depicted them in all their glory, standing tall and imposing. They were the protectors, the guides, and sometimes the harbingers of doom. Their stories were etched in stone, a testament to the beliefs and traditions of a bygone era. But the inscription also held a warning, a cautionary tale of hubris and downfall. The glowing text, both mesmerizing and ominous, spoke of a great danger that had once threatened to wipe out all that the ancients had built. It was a reminder that knowledge, while powerful, could also be perilous if not wielded with care, a warning of a great cataclysm that had befallen this ancient race. The holographic reenactments showed scenes of chaos and destruction, cities crumbling and lives lost. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of civilization and the ever-present threat of disaster. The ancients had faced their own apocalypse, a cataclysm that had reshaped their world and left scars that would never fully heal. A cataclysm that threatened to consume humanity as well. The parallels between their time and ours were striking. The same forces that had once brought about their downfall now loomed over us. The ancient ruins set against an ominous sky served as a grim reminder of what could befall us if we did not heed their warnings. The future was uncertain, and the stakes had never been higher. The legacy of the ancients was not just knowledge, it was a burden, a responsibility. The glowing texts and ancient scrolls were more than just historical records. They were a call to action. The individuals in the futuristic library, burdened by the weight of this legacy, knew that they had to decipher and understand these ancient messages. The artifacts, studied with great care, held the keys to our survival. The fate of humanity rested on the shoulders of Professor Wright and her team. They were the torchbearers, the ones who had taken up the mantle of the ancients. Their determination and resolve were unwavering. In the face of overwhelming odds, they worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of the past, hoping to find answers that would ensure a future for all of humanity. They were the inheritors of a legacy older than time itself. The ancient cosmic artifacts and time-worn relics were more than just objects. They were symbols of a connection that spanned millennia. Professor Wright, standing amidst these relics, understood the gravity of her mission. She and her team were not just preserving history, they were shaping the future, guided by the wisdom of those who had come before.